Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday, July 31st, 2023. And as it was stated in one of the comments earlier, yes, we are well past, I say well past, we're past the halfway point of summer, thank goodness. We still have August to go. August is a very hot month. I know here in Georgia it's always hot. September really isn't much better. The temperatures stay pretty high throughout those months, even into early fall. So I'm looking forward to getting through the August and September, obviously, and I just want to point out that right now in where I live, it is currently 91 degrees. So at 7 o'clock at night, it's 91 degrees. That's pretty warm. We are going to be experiencing some cooler, slightly cooler weather this coming week because there's going to be some rain in the forecast. So always good to have that come in. Everything needs. We all need. It all needs rain. The whole earth needs rain. Just not all at once. Just kind of balance out. Hope everybody has had a good weekend and a good week. I know there's tons of stuff that goes on throughout the summer months, trips and vacations and holidays, and we just recently celebrated our grandson turning 4, and that's a pretty cool experience. I'm so thankful that we have our grandkids. Our grandson is 4, and our granddaughter is 18 months, and she is really turning into just a bundle of joy. I mean, as she gets older and more interactive and can say and do things, it's just amazing. And of course, as having being a parent, and as we get older and our kids start having kids, our perspectives change somewhat. Maybe we don't. Maybe we're not so restrictive or so good at disciplining some of the stuff that the kids are doing now. But I am so thankful that we have those grandkids. It makes life worth living, just that alone. So it is again Monday, and you probably have seen the last video on the Cobra Jet, and that was dealing with the rocker panel and all that stuff. I am progressing further into it. You can see here that I've got the or the paint stripped off of the rocker panel. I've been cleaning it up. This next coming video is going to be won't be what I want it to be. Let's put it that way. I wanted to have the rocker panel on the new floor pan and also the forward section, get it all in place. But I need to treat the inside. And unfortunately, it's going to take me a little while to get the materials. I've already ordered it. I'm going to be using Eastwood's rust encapsulator. And it may be a little overkill in this case, but what I want to do is treat the rust on the inside of the rocker panel, get it all taken care of, and then coat it up with the rust encapsulator just as another layer of protection. Even though most of the galvanized in there is good, I think it's just a good preventive measure. So what I will probably do is highlight some of the other pieces that have been supplied for the project. Recently received the rocker or the frame connectors, and I really want to show those. And I hope I can do. I don't know if I can do a test just yet as to see how well they're going to fit. They're complicated in a sense, but they're also pre-built and look like a really nice design. So I'll probably showcase some of that stuff, and along with that, we're going to be making another road trip. And I know everybody is probably familiar with the Studebaker project, my brother's car that I went to Kentucky to pick up, and there was another auction. His widow sold, all of his possessions. That's how love works. She sold all of his possessions, and one of those items was an engine and transmission and a supercharger. And that engine and transmission, I think, were in his '49 Studebaker truck before it went to the side and got passed on to somebody else. So I think that's what those are. The only thing I really want is the supercharger, but I'm obligated to take care of the other pieces, and it may not be a bad thing because I don't know the status of the engine that's in his car, whether it's a good engine or not. So it wouldn't hurt to have a spare, just just because. Hopefully, I don't need it, but you never know. And the transmission, I think, is a big four-speed out of a heavy truck, so I could probably part with that. I'd find somebody that might want it. But anyway, we're also going to um, go get that stuff, and I'm going to drive to, I think, Akron, Ohio. There's a gentleman who has NOS fenders for that Studebaker car. He has a front valance panel, and he might have some doors. So if he has a bunch of that stuff, I might just buy it all just so I have it. I know I need the fenders and the valance. Um, Uncertain on the bumpers at this point, whether I'm going to put bumpers back on it. So I'll just be, gathering up some of those parts as well. And we're going to spend some time with my wife's family. They have a family reunion planned. So, we're going to take care of several things all at one time. I may make some video of the trip. I don't know just yet, but that's going to tie me up for about a week. So I don't know what I'll be able to put out as far as a video between, that I'll have one for this week, but I'm unsure what I'll be able to do for next week. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay, so if you were here on this live stream, most of you already know how this works and how we do things, and I encourage everybody to be involved, whether it's asking a question or answering a question or bringing up a subject matter or topic. By all means, bring it up. If you're unsure about something, that's fine. Even if it's something we talked about before, it doesn't hurt to talk about it again, because there may be people watching who are unfamiliar with something, subject matter. And, I get questions all the time on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. And, it's good to share information. So if you're new, and you participate, you get a bell. Just a little reward I offer, free of charge. Let's see who's here tonight. So first in is Ed Cucciarella. He says, hello all. Hello, Ed. Glad you're here. Rick Gain from New Jersey. Summer is half over. It'll be cold sooner than we think. And that's okay. That is okay. I don't mind the cooler temperatures. I don't want any snow. You can keep all that. Crash Rider, greetings from Southern Indiana to everyone. I have some necessary vehicle maintenance to complete tonight and may not be able to join on live. Be sure to give Joe Daddies a thumbs up. Stay cool. Yes. Thank you, Crash Rider. Glad you're here. Leonard, I'm glad you're at least here temporarily. Leonard Gilbreth, evening all from the high desert. Glad you're here, Leonard. And we have Jerry checking in from the Money Pit in Middle Tennessee. Thumbs up for Barry. Thank you, Jerry. Steve Grimes from a good evening from a much cooler central PA. Yes, I'm looking forward to those temperatures. I am. And if I get a chance, I might stop by and see you. If I get a chance, I might stop by. I guess Mike Seff. Leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Yes. Let's talk about that for just a minute. I'm currently at about 64,000 subscribers, and that's awesome. It's great. And I was doing I don't know how to word it, a review, let's say, of how YouTube is doing with my product, my content, and how it's doing with other people's content. And YouTube they're really screwing things up. I'll just be blunt about that. I know I've talked about it before. Revenue is not where it should be. YouTube takes half the revenue. Whatever I make, they take half of, honestly. And, I have 64,000 subscribers on this channel, and I have 8,000 subscribers on my other channel, which is all just random kind of stuff. Working on a house, working on deer feeders, just a variety of different things that I've done over there. And honestly, if you do the ratio, that other channel, in my mind, is technically doing better than this channel. And I get it. There are people that are interested in those more odd things and home repair and maintenance, and I get that. But YouTube is not making it any better for any of us who are trying to fill this kind of market. So I've been struggling with the whole concept anymore, and what steps I may have to take in order for it to be continued to make revenue and make it worth my while. So just exploring other ideas at this point. Terry Keithley, evening all. Barry, please hit the like and thumbs up. Thank you kindly. Yes, glad to hear Terry. Dave Tyson, good evening all. Glad to hear Dave. Rick Gain, helping a friend work on a 2000 Honda Insight. Fixing bent aluminum isn't much fun. Sentimental value, so the car is worth the work. Okay. Yeah, aluminum is not friendly on a vehicle to try to work with. Robert, evening all. Another month and a half of 105-degree daily temps here before we start cooling off. Hopefully, someone will take a vacation next year and stay at the southern hemisphere. Well, glad you're here, Robert. I don't know if we're ever going to get summer off again. Rusty's Restoration, good evening all from southern Indiana. Like and comment. Thank you, Rusty. And Jerry is checking in. Howdy, y'all. Even though it is hot as Hades here, Robert and I had a great day. I hope y'all had a great day too. Enjoy Car Talk. Thank you, Jerry. And happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you. There you go. You got a special treat. Bob Shoemaker, evening all from Oklahoma. Hot temps still here. Yes. Glad to hear, Bob. Evans Garage. Hey, y'all. I'm Barry. Lots of good work on the CJ. And I got my new cowl welded in. Oh, that's awesome. That is a good thing. And I think we talked about that before. So yeah, I'm glad you got that welded in. Roger, Hindsight 67, greetings from next door. Glad to hear Raj. Troy Justit. Good evening, fellow brothers of the soon-to-be traveling Barry. The wife likes the truck picture. Oh, good. And I've been experimenting. I've been trying to make more interesting thumbnails. I know it's trivial, right? But I'm trying to, catch somebody's eye. Look, hey, this is a thing. Check it out. And so I've been experimenting with different colors and fonts and all that sort of thing. So I'm glad your wife likes it. Simone, hello from the UK, Great Britain. Glad to hear Simone. Hooked on classics. Richard Vogel, good evening, Barry. Great to see you again. Well, I'd like to say the same. That's the oddity, though. This is a one-way screen. But I'm glad to hear, Richard. Robert saying hi to Simone. Simone says, hey, yeah, I stopped watching another channel. Okay. So I don't know what that means. If you stop watching another channel altogether, or you stop watching another channel to watch this channel. I hope that's the case. Crash Rider just finished in time to catch the DOG, Duke of Georgia. Thank you, Crash Rider. Rusty, my grandson is 4 as well. Fun age. Yes. Yeah, in fact, I was not that I encourage people to use Temu, because I really don't know if it's a good place or not. But I found a little, I say little, it's an excavator, right? So it's an excavator or track hoe. So it's a track vehicle. The body's about that long, but overall it's about that long, with a bucket on the front and tracks, whatever. And I got one of those off of Temu, and the thing is really cool. It is really cool. I showed it to my grandson, and he was playing with it, and I made sure he understood, what it's supposed to do and all that, and he was really enjoying it. And then, as grandkids do, he got bored with it, and so he said, okay, he set it aside. But I know from experience that once he sets it aside, I need to go hide it, because when it's time for him to leave, he's going to want to take it with him. And I'm like, nope, this is to play with at Grandpa's house. So yeah, they are fun. Leonard, how's things across the pond? Talking to Simone. Denny Albee, hi all, checking in from Paducah, Kentucky. I just like saying Paducah. Glad you're here, Denny. Simone says, mind you, it is midnight here. The weather has been rather overcast and wet. That sounds like Britain, UK. David and Cheryl, hello, Barry, and everyone in wet Missouri. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's a good thing. Glad you're here. I don't know if it's both of you or not. So glad you're here. Dave Tyson, did I see the studio on the lift? Yes, it is on the lift, mostly just to make space. I needed to get the main car up here and get the boat trailer with the floor pan and everything back and forth on this side. So the studio is on the lift at the moment. Um, I think I posted more about it on Patreon last week, and uh, just went over some of the uniqueness about it from looking at the underside of the vehicle, and that is well, that's something I'm encouraging as well. Is the whole Patreon thing. I know it's some people aren't interested in it, and I understand that. Um, but the way YouTube is going lately, I may just have to say, guess what? Everything's on Patreon because it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. Let's see. The shop joining from Saskatchewan. It's been a while since I let a comment on your channel. Been busy with vehicles in my shop. Okay. Well, glad you're here. The shop. Sorry if I don't remember your name, but we'll just say the shop. Jack, good evening, Barry. Also from New Jersey. Glad you're here, Jack. David Sherrill, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes. Lynn, hello from Western PA. Another great Sunday in the car. Cruise scene. Cobra Jet is coming along nicely. Yes, it is. And I'm looking. I really am. People. There's been comments on the video. There's been comments on the Facebook page post that I make. Some people get a little, I don't know how to put it, worked up that I'm salvaging these rocker panels. And I've tried to tell people it's part of the process. The owner, that's what he wants. And I understand that and I get it. But some people are like, just go buy this or go buy that and put this on and be done with it. Go buy a whole shell and be done with it. Well, I don't think they understand, in some cases, sentimental value, also personal connection to things. It's easy to just say that. But, that was like I have my grandfather's Model A, 1931 Model A. And it needed a complete restoration, which I did. And I spent way too much money on that thing, getting it to look as good as it does. And I could have, in effect, went and bought one that was already done for less than what I have in it and just kind of repainted it or something and said, yeah, that was my grandfather's car. But it's not. It's not the same thing. Even to the point where that Model A, I rebuilt everything, kept everything that I could of the original car, and down to the steering wheel. I actually had a brand new, I probably still have it here somewhere maybe, unless I sold it. I had a brand new steering wheel in a box. And of course it's aftermarket. And I went to put that steering wheel on thinking this is the highlight, let's say. Put this new steering wheel on. The car looks new again in a sense. And I put that steering wheel on, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at the old one, and the old one has wear on it from hands being on that steering wheel and moving it. It actually has wear, worn down the design of that. Now, I don't know what kind of material they made that out of. It's some sort of ancestor to plastic, material. But wear and tear on that steering wheel. It had cracks in it. And I said, you know what? I can't do that. I can't put that new steering wheel on there because that isn't the steering wheel that my dad used. That isn't the steering wheel that my grandfather used and whoever had it before him. So I put that old steering wheel on it, and every time I get in that car and I put my hands up there, I picture my grandfather or my dad holding that steering wheel and doing the same thing. And that's such a good feeling to know that there's that solid connection. You're not just putting a new part on and going, oh, fine, it's the way, it's perfect now, blah, blah, blah. No, now I have this physical contact connection between all three of us and whoever else had it before. But Anyway, just a little sidetrack there on my thoughts on the process. Rusty, I used the Rust encapsulator on the inside of my rockers, and a lot of other areas worked well. Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see. Simone and I am off to a car show on Sunday. Okay. Now, David and Cheryl. I don't know. I just got our 69 Thunderbird. That's all I got from that. So I don't know if there was something else posted before. I missed it. Let me see if it comes up. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, so I see other comments that are coming through. Let me get caught up on this. 69 Stang, thanks for discussing the torque boxes. Can't wait to see how it all goes. Yes, that's going to be. I'm going to be doing some of my own modifications to all that. I've had a talk with the owner about it, and it's going to come out. It's going to turn out really nice. I'm confident. Ed's Machine. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ed. Glad you're here. Can't tell what your thumbnail is. I see blue. Don't know what that is. Mike Wencho, Magic Mike. Hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Glad you're here, Mike. David Sherrill, color is Tahoe turquoise. Okay, are we talking about the Thunderbird? I don't know if I'm missing anything in between there. Sorry if I am. Tahoe turquoise. That's an interesting name. Rick says YouTube is screwing with a lot of content providers lately. They demonetized another channel for no justifiable reason. Well, you know what? It almost feels that way anymore with me. I'll be blunt about, I rely to a point on the revenue from YouTube. And three or 4 years ago, I guess it is, maybe three, I was actually generating. Now this is gross. I was generating about just close to $3,000 a month, right? Now that is before taxes, so you know how that works. You get at the end of the year, they hit you, boom, and you're slaughtered with taxes, and that was pretty good. That's when I had the Brooklyn Pony going, and I had a lot of people interested, and still have a lot of people interested. But now, right now, and I'm putting out probably in my opinion, some of the best content that I've ever put out with this particular car and my videos, really putting a lot of effort into the editing and making sure that it's a quality thing. Currently, my revenue is $900 a month. $900 a month. It's like down to $25-$30 a day. That's it. And that's before taxes. And that's really irritating because I know that I'm putting in the effort to try to make good videos and stuff like that. But YouTube doesn't care. And, when they take half of your money, so actually I'm making like technically 18, but they're taking half of that right off the top. And that's why I'm looking at the possibility of maybe just going all to Patreon. I might just pull all of my videos off of YouTube, because the reality is YouTube only makes money because I'm voluntarily giving them the content. We're all putting it out there for them, and they're the ones making all the profits. The content, the knowledge, all the stuff that I put into it, all they're doing is pushing a button and going, "Yep, here we go." There's no effort on their side, in my opinion, and so they're taking all this revenue. And if I were to say, okay, I'm going to move this all to Patreon, and I tell people, hey, for I don't know, $3-5 a month, you get full access to all this stuff, then it may change the whole thing, because it's just frustrating. It's just very frustrating. Simone says she struggles with YouTube. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. Rick Hayberry, watch it when singing Happy Birthday might be a copyright violation. Actually, I think that is one song that is in the what is it? Congressional Archives or something like that. I think that's one song they can't have copyright on. I think, but I get to what you're saying. Jerry says, "Thank you, Barry, for the birthday greetings. I was not expecting that. It's the 25th anniversary of my 29th birthday." Don't make me do math. Don't make me do math. I don't want to do that. Lee Carlson. Here you go, Jerry. You get an extra bell. Lee Carlson. I enjoyed the channel, sir. Thanks for all you do. Yellow from Houston, Texas. Well, yellow to you back, Lee. Glad you're here. Simone, the other channel was overlapping and I was getting too tired and the other was becoming boring. Okay. It's better here. Yeah. Well, good. Dave and Cheryl, just me, David is at work. We are finally getting much needed rain. Okay. That's great. Leonard, YouTube isn't connected with Twitter, are they? No. No, they are not. That's the other thing along with that. It turns out probably the big draw is TikTok now. I have a TikTok channel or TikTok, whatever, and I try to get information about how all that works. And there are people that are putting out, they talked about it. They're making 1-minute videos. And if they get so many views, 1,000 views, it's like $1.25 or I don't know what it is. But one guy's generating thousands of dollars a month for just trivial junk that he's throwing on TikTok. But there are also people that are doing like progress type things, like instructional videos, I think, to where they're putting the full video on there and people, have to pay to view it or something. So I'm not as good with it as I should be. Troy, Simone, I caught your video on your struggle with rear axle. Did you finally get it out? Simone says, Barry, I have a new favorite US 70s car, 72. Wait a minute. Nope. That doesn't work. You're crossing paths. You're crossed up there. 72 Pontiac Satellite? I don't think that works. 72 Plymouth Satellite or 72 Pontiac, I don't know, Bonneville? I don't know. Looks like you're crossed up. So we don't know which one it really is. Simone says, Troy, yes, but it is quite a story. Okay. Rick, have you seen Paul Shin on YouTube? He does a lot of Model A work on his channel. No, I have not. In fact, as we're talking about this, Robert and I have been discussing that YouTube is now trying to get me, get this, they're trying to get us as creators to pay them to promote our videos. And Robert shared a video with me. I forget what the name of it, but the guy did, he showed one of his videos and he said that he had made like $48 off of it. And YouTube wanted him to spend $150 to promote that video. And he ended up spending $75 to promote that video. And the end result was he got $71 total out of it. He got nothing. But YouTube is trying to push people to promote the videos and pay for them to promote the video. Can you imagine that? The audacity. They already take half of our actual revenue. And even like the tips or any other side things that happen, they take like 2/3 of that or 1/3 of that. It's just crazy. Yeah, we want you to pay more for us to promote your videos. Yeah. Cheryl, our 69 Thunderbird color is Tahoe turquoise. Okay. Now we're getting everything connected. So, Michael, hello all to the party. I had to cut the grass. It's not 90 degrees. It's a good time. That is a good time when it's not 90 degrees. Yes. Rick, I appreciate for everyone here. I think I speak for everyone here. We appreciate the effort you put into YouTube. Well, yeah, thank you, Rick. I appreciate that very much. I just have to figure out how to make it help me and not help YouTube. I do have a web page, and I know there's other groups out there that they have a membership thing, right? and they have people that are signed up as members to watch videos, which is kind of like the same kind of videos that I make, but they have many subscribers, let's say. Um, and YouTube tries to do a membership thing. Hey, get people to sign up for a membership. Well, the problem is they still take half of that. That's not a fair trade. And that's not cool at all. So when I look at like the Patreon avenue, it's much simpler, and the advantage to Patreon, if I were to do that fully, is there's no ads. Patreon takes I think it's 3 to 12% of whatever the revenue is. They take 3 to 12%, and that's it. So there's no ads on the videos, and I know a lot of people hate to see the ads pop up, but ads are what makes revenue for both me and YouTube. Um, so that's why I'm even like trying to figure that out. Evan, your content is worth a lot. I wonder how favoring the shorts and easily digested content is driving everything. Um, I looked into the shorts, and I posted a few shorts. Sometimes I do it just to cover a brief bit of information. And even if they're monetized, I think the best little short that I made isn't even generating it's like a penny or 2 cents. It's not even worth that. Troy, Barry, whatever decision you make, I will follow you and keep supporting you. Awesome, man. Thank you for that. The shop, I once wanted to build up a nice channel, but it just is not worth my time. That is exactly right. And the more that, time goes on, the more it's like I'm almost the same way. It's not worth my time when YouTube's taking the big cut. They're the ones that are hammering me. And, a lot of stuff that gets promoted, I try to do some like Google search, like what's the most interesting or what's the most searched topic, whatever on YouTube. And it's a lot of these just, I call them goofy creators. And that's fine. There's people who want to watch the goofballs. And I get it. I do to a point. But maybe I'm just not geared, for that. I'm just not geared to be a goofball. Simone says, sorry, Plymouth Satellite. Okay. Also, since you brought that up, let me see if I don't think I have a picture of it. My brother had, one of his stock cars was a 72 Satellite Sebring Plus. I think it was a 72. And it was, I liked that car a lot. I was actually disappointed that he cut that car up to make it into a stock car. But yeah, I like those too. They're very munchy looking. My wife calls that like a lifted 4-wheel drive truck with big tires on it. She'll say that's got munchy tires on it, and so that's kind of an expression that she uses. Abe, Barry X, formerly Twitter, is talking about competing against YouTube. That may be another option. Yeah, and I don't know how well that would work. Right now, TikTok is the thing. People are just going for it on TikTok, and I've tried to look at other revenue platforms like Vimeo. Even I could put videos on Vimeo. I could put videos on Rumble. There's a variety of things, but those are still not like subscriber based, let's say. The only thing my mind keeps saying is that Patreon does this thing where its subscribers contribute, and that's what makes everything turn. I mean, I'm to the point now, and I hate to say this, I'm to the point now I want to take and pull all of my old videos off. Just pull them off. Just get them off there. I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. Over 1,000. And I wouldn't have any problem pulling some of those off or turning them to private so that they could stay there, but I would only I would have the access to them. I'm that frustrated with the system right now. Leonard, who's running YouTube? The Grinch? Well, actually, it's Google, which is owned by, I think it's Alphabet, is the name of the company, Alphabet. So Google owns YouTube, but Alphabet owns Google. So I'm sure somewhere in there it's BlackRock. Somewhere it's got to be BlackRock owns everything, right? Abe, sounds like they need competition. Yeah, to a point. They have competition out there. Like I said, Vimeo, Rumble. There's several others, but until I would have like a base to develop subscribers and develop revenue stream, right? It's almost impossible to get there now. Robert, I vaguely remember cutting the grass. It's been a long time since I have seen anything that isn't brown and crunchy. I'll tell you what, everything here is green and growing and going crazy. Since you brought that up, I wanted to, just to give you, this is trivial, but I want to mention something. I have this little app on my phone. It's called Picture This. Okay, it's called Picture This, and it does have a subscriber thing. You can subscribe to it. But I wanted to find out, what you can do is take pictures of plants or whatever in your garden or trees, and it'll tell you what it is. And so I was looking at some of the stuff growing around here because I know like sweet gums and oaks and maple, and I was surprised. I knew also we have a tree growing right outside the garage. It's called a black gum. I didn't even know that was a tree, but it's called a black gum, and it has all these vines all over it. I have vines all over the place in the woods, and a lot of those are muscadine grapes, wild muscadine grapes. Now, those aren't really the best to eat. You can eat them, but they're usually used for like jellies and stuff like that. We've got tons of these things growing crazy in the backyard. The other thing I found was I have several southern magnolia trees just randomly sprouting up. Some are only a few feet tall. But the one that surprised me the most is a mockernut hickory. That tree is growing straight as an arrow, and it has like pretty big leaves on it. But that's the cool thing about the technology that we have available to us is we can see these things and look them up and go, wow, that's what that is. So just we're the opposite of brown and crunchy right now. We are green and growing like crazy. So Jerry says Google runs YouTube, so it is pretty much like the Grinch. Yeah, that is accurate. Simone, Robert, I cut my grass a few days ago and found 11 ants nest. Oh, you're way ahead of the curve. I probably have 30 out in my yard. Lynn, do you think the writer-actor strikes has anything to do with it? Creators are making money without production costs, kind of like a trickle-down competition or complaint from Hollywood. No, I don't. I don't think it's relative at all. Everything on YouTube is independent. As far as I know. But Dennis, hi Barry and gang. Hope you are all fine. Well, glad you're here, Dennis. Simone, I can't do TikTok. I really don't like vertical filming. Yeah, I understand that. Ray Buckman, good evening, Barry and all. Glad you're here, Ray. Leonard, if you leave YouTube, I'm done. I understand. And at this point, I'm on the fence. I mean, honestly, I'm on the fence. But I'm not going anywhere yet. Just so you know. And, as you know, Leonard, right now, I've discovered that I can put my videos on private, and people that I invite to that can see those videos. So technically, I could still put those videos out there, and people like you can have access to them. Just so you know. Brian, hello everyone. Hope all are well. KFC for dinner tonight. Too hot to cook. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I haven't had KFC in a while. 11 herbs and spices. Original recipe. I don't like extra crispy. Brad Eggesdahl. That's my guess. Got a 64 Thunderbird I'm trying to sell. Runs and drives. Interior looks really good. Just needs brakes. Is 8,000 too much? I don't know. It's really hard to tell without knowing what's been done to it, what shape its overall shape is. Um, I'm assuming it's an automatic. I think they were all automatics. I think, and most of those, I believe, probably had a 390 in it. I could be wrong. Um, but 8,000 to the right person, that's a good price. I'll say that. But it's finding that right person. How about that? I know my mom had a 64 Thunderbird that was mint. Um, I forget what she paid, probably a little less than that for it, and it was beautiful, beautiful car. But that was a while ago too. Brad and a paint job. Oh, just needs brakes and a paint job. Okay, I'm not going to say 8 grand then. 64 Thunderbird. It's gonna drop the price because a paint grand alone. I mean, a paint job alone can run you tons of money. Um, I would say if you can get 8,000 for it, you're lucky. But your odds are you're probably maybe around half that. Just saying. Nick says hello. Hello, Nick. Clark. BlackRock owns 6.2%. Vanguard owns 7%. Yeah. And they pull the strings whenever they want. Jorge. Hello, guys. Hand pink waving. Hand pink waving. That's funny. Apparently, it doesn't allow for the actual pink hand. It just says it. That's funny. Glad you're here, man. Haven't seen you in quite some time. Hope all is well. Leonard says, I'm still with you no matter what. Thank you, Leonard. Appreciate that. Nick says, Jorge, what's up, man? I was wondering about you last time. Ray, I was doing the brakes on my car. Went took out the brake hose, and the previous owner messed them up, got a cut and replaced with new. Yeah. Yeah, that's never fun. But you know what? I don't know how old the brake hoses were, but brake hoses go bad, so it might have done you a favor. I don't know. If it was, if they'd been on it for quite some time, might have done you a favor. Leonard says, nope, on the T-Bird, that's cheap. Well, he did say it needs a paint job. So, we don't know the actual status of it overall. Charles, late as usual, but here, enjoyed my visit with Barry. Really exciting things coming. Yes, I agree with you on that. There's going to be some good stuff coming out on the car very soon. KJ says hello all. Well, hello KJ. Out here in the garage, hey Barry, another enthusiast. I'm out here in the garage and I'm warm engine, putting in a little time on my projects. Ken in Flintville, Tennessee. Glad you're here, Ken. KJ says hello, everyone. We got hello again. Troy says, Brad, if you have a picture, send it to Barry. Yes. Yeah, if you have a picture of the Thunderbird, you can send it to me. There's my email at the bottom of the screen, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. So if you'd like, you can send it my way, and we can use it on the show, let's say. I do have a picture that Robert has sent me. So let me see if I can remove that one. And Robert's he's highlighting his wonderful grass. Let's see if it'll come up. Because I know it's not doing good in Texas. All right. Let's see if I. Well, the little thing is spinning, so we'll have to see if it comes up. I don't know what's going on. It should be. It should be appearing. Let me go back up to comments for a second. Ray Buckman, the fitting that is got to get steel lines. Oh, okay. Simone, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, thank you, Simone. Richard, what spot weld cutter do you recommend? I don't have one to recommend. I don't. Normally what I do, and I've shown this in other videos, I will drill, depending on what I'm taking apart, I will try to drill into the parent metal with a larger bit. So if I have two pieces of metal, the piece on top, I will drill with a pretty large drill bit in order to break away that weld and where it creates a ring in effect. And then I'll use my little chisel tool to separate that. I don't actually use a spot weld cutter. The other thing I do is the little belt sander. Again, depending on what I'm saving. So like this rocker panel, I separated the back side, the inner rocker, from the front side. And part of that was, I think it's going to be kind of cool to save the spot welds even. At least what looks like the spot weld. So when I put this back together and I weld it from the back side of the inner rocker, it's going to weld to where the front side spot welds were in the same location. And if everything goes smoothly, it may distort some of it just slightly just by penetration, but it'll look like those spot welds are still where they were supposed to be. So just one of those things that I've done. Now on the on other pieces like I'm taking out a cowl or something, I will grind off the top of the welds and then separate things. I try to keep whatever base metal is there, so when I weld back, it's still there, and I have something to start to weld to. So, good question. Let me see if I have. Oh yeah, here's Robert's yard. Look at that. He doesn't have to mow. No mowing there. Yeah. Okay, let me pull that down. Let me pull this down real quick. Okay. So Terry says, "Me too, Barry," and I think he's saying he's going to stay with me in doing this stuff. So thank you, Terry. Jerry says, about 10 years ago, Robert and I had seen a 66 T-Bird that was in really good shape, inside and out, for just under 10 grand. Yep. Yeah, there's. I mean, I like the Thunderbirds. I do. I like the looks of them. The challenge is finding the person that's looking for a Thunderbird. Nothing against them at all. I think they're really cool cars. But again, the challenge is finding that person who wants that car. And I think the market is limited in some sense as to who's looking for one of those. But they're out there, and I was surprised. I have a friend on Facebook. He found a Thunderbird. That thing looked like almost new. I mean, literally, all he did was like wash it, and he gave it a light buff, and that car looked amazing. It had never been repainted, and I think he said he paid like $11,000 or $12,000 for it or something, and it was as close to mint as I've ever seen a car. So, yeah, again, it's finding that person who's looking for that particular car. Okay, I'm just gonna go with I defix 3M. I don't know what that means. It says, I just started to cut off the rocker panel of my 68 Coupe as you did the swap on the Crusty. This motivated me so much. Please keep going, making such crazy stuff and making videos of it. Okay. Good. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. KJ, it was delayed. Okay. Jorge, yes, it wouldn't allow me. So sorry. No, I think it's just funny. Pink hand waving. That's what we need to have, like a greetings card. You know, mom says hi and pink hand waving. Doyle, are you going to save the quarters on the Mach 1 or at least some of it? That's the plan. That is the plan. Try to save as much of the original quarter panel from each side that I can, and section in what needs to be, what has to be sectioned in at the bottom. So yeah. Nick, I was daydreaming about a 55 Thunderbird the other day. Yeah, I have a friend who has one sitting in his garage, along with a 65 or 66 Fastback GT. Just sitting there in a carport, not even a garage door. It's in a carport. Don't get me started. Simone, not sure how much my car is worth, but I recently found more rust that needs serious attention. 4 months work needed, apparently. Well, I don't know how you can estimate 4 months, but that sounds like a lot of work. I've given up on trying to say it'll take this long, when I'm doing stuff, because inevitably I find something else, or I have to do something from this point to get to that point. So, in fact, I showed again on one of my Patreon video the Studebaker. I don't know if I showed it on any others or not. I may have. My brother had put sheet metal patches on this car, and he was definitely not a sheet metal guy. I don't know where he was like using patch panels from, like the roof off of another car, and he cut it off and just kind of bent it close to the shape and welded it on. And that's torture. That is torture for me. I get where he's coming from, and I knew what he was doing, but I'm like, I can make that look so much nicer. So I may have to do some of that on his car. David and Cheryl, we got our T-Bird for $1,700. See, that sounds like a good price. Sounds like a good price. Dennis, my 64 Falcon needs a paint job. No rust, lots of paint chips, and paint peel, as this car was painted sometime before. Question. Wait a minute. What? So some do I'm guessing sandlot cleanup and clear coat. Is that a good way to go? Are you selling it, or are you keeping it? I've heard of people doing stuff like that. Not really the way to do it. That's a direct shortcut to the process, and usually when I see people doing that, they're just flipping the car. They're just gonna get some, fix it best they can and sell it to somebody else and let them deal with it. And I don't know what what kind of paint is on the car. Whether it's base coat, clear coat, or I don't know exactly, what kind of, what you have. Now, if it's a single stage and it's in good shape other than paint chips, yeah, you could probably get away with doing something along those lines. Sanding it just to scuff everything up and then clear coat it. Now, I won't recommend that specifically, but you probably could do that. Terry says your brother was driving up a tree. It worked, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah. It's what I really want to do, and it's torture. It is so much torture for me, because I know I've said it, and I want to keep that thought in my head that I'm not going to restore that car. I have to keep that thought that I'm not going to restore that car. Okay. What I want to do, I would love to keep the paint the way it is and do the suspension, do the drivetrain, make it fully functional, and just leave it the way it looks. And to some degree, I may do that. The problem I have is the fenders are so bad that I really can't do that. I did think about what could I do to replicate the horrible paint job that is still on this car. I don't even know how I'd pull it off. But I kind of would like to just leave it the way it looks and kind of rat rod it, you know. And I have to keep my mind on that. It's a rat rod type of vehicle. It's not ever going to be a show car. I can't think of it that way at all. And that is rough. Let me tell you, that is rough. That's why I love my 55. When I had it, I really did love that car because I didn't do anything to it to make it better, body wise. Nothing, other than the trunk lid, because I didn't have a trunk lid. But well, a floor pan. That was a safety thing more than anything. Replaced the floor pan, rebuilt the trunk so that things were attached. But yeah, it didn't ever get paint like a normal car. Simone, the rear end needs cutting out and replacing structural metal. The front inner wings / fenders and rails need repair. Just a quote I was given. Oh, okay. I understand now. Nick says, "Oh yeah, I just have to mention I tore." Well, wait, what? I guess I tore the head of my bicep off the bone. I have surgery tomorrow, so I don't get to drive the car for at least 4 months, whether it's ready or not. Ouch! How did you manage that? What were you doing, Nick? Were you lifting a Suburban off of a crash victim on the highway? How do you tear a... that doesn't even... I don't even want to imagine how that feels. I don't want to imagine that, Nick. Okay. Okay, that's just uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable to think about. Anyone want to help put the finishing touches on it around St. Louis? Well, I can't say that I could help, but I wouldn't mind. I would love to do that, but I can't say that I can, at least not at this point. 4 months. Oh, that's got to be rough. Sorry to hear that, Nick. Simone says, "Oh, that sounds painful." Yeah, it sure does. Troy says, "Simone, are parts available in the UK for your car?" That's a good question. Nick says, "Okay, one head of my bicep off the bone." Okay. Brian, peeling paint is a no-go to me because it usually means poor prep on the previous job and other places will peel later. Yes, that is accurate. Terry Keith says, "Hey, Robert. He's going to restore the car, isn't he?" No, he's not. He's not going to restore the car. He's not. He's not. No, I cannot do that. Nick says, "It only hurt initially, actually. Doctor told me because it's a full separation, they don't hurt as much." It just sounds brutal. Yeah, I don't know. Simone and Troy have most panels, but I need to make something. But if I need to make something, I'm quite happy to. Okay, Troy, that's not good news, Nick. No, that's not good news. Nick says, "Yeah, I did it of all things, putting a TV on a wall mount. I thought I had it on, and it slipped off, and the shock loaded the arm." How big of a TV were you putting up, Nick? That had to be like a giant TV. Although I do know if you did something that was, sometimes we can hurt ourselves just completely at random, not even. Whoops, wait a minute. not even really trying in a sense. Just something just you slip a certain way, and all of a sudden you've herniated two discs in your back. I know I've had a situation years ago where I was at work and I was leaning over a part, running a drill. So my body mass was over the part, and I'm drilling off these rivets. Somebody walked into the workspace and just said, "Hey," and I picked my head up. I didn't even um, do anything aggressive. I just picked my head up to look at him, and I gave myself whiplash. That's all, and it was just because of I had so much tension on my upper body and my head and all that stuff. And when I lifted my head up, all that tension just tweaked, and I gave myself whiplash. I was out of work for like 2 days, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, how can this hurt? You know, but sure enough, it was whiplash. So, okay, so I have two pictures, and here's the first one. Let me put on Nick's comment real quick. Ooh, this picture is from Lynn. It says, "Can you believe that the judge gave the trophy to a 2022 Corvette over the perfect 67 Shelby 500 at the show?" You've got to be kidding me. They gave the trophy to the Corvette, which somebody bought and drove there, versus a 67 Shelby GT. That is a beautiful car. I would demand a recount on the votes. That is just wrong. That is wrong. Okay, and Russ has also sent me a picture. And he says, "Rusty's new pony in the barn." That's cool. That's cool. All right, let me go back up here to the comments. Hold on just a second. Okay, Rick says, "If I were to do it all over again, I would not have made my Mustang look as nice and concentrated more on drivability. Now I'm too worried about it. Every little ding or stone chip." Yep, that's the difficulty. Rusty sent a pic. Okay, the paint is absolutely falling off the car. I'm going to strip it back to bare metal. Okay, and that's the one we were just talking about. This one. You might be able to pressure wash it off. Might work. Let's see. Cheryl, gotta go. Gotta go. Having things to do. Everyone have a great week. Glad you're here, Cheryl. Stay safe and stay well. Donnie Williams, greetings. Well, greetings to you, Donnie. Glad you're here. Robert says, "Terry, it's going to be a fun toy sleeper for him to drive around town." Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, toy sleeper. It's not going to be fixed up and fancy, and yeah, that's it. Rick says, what you consider not restoring the car, many other people consider restoring the car. So in the end, to many, you will have restored the car. Well, that is, I guess, a possibility. I just can't make it a show car. No, it's gonna have to. I mean, there's like chrome inside the bezels and all that stuff. All needs to be redone. The knobs, all those little detail things that would have to be re-chromed. I just can't justify the expense. It's gonna be more fun to keep it. I may not even wash it. That would be even better. Just leave it crusty. Oh, Roger says, "Nick, did you save the TV at least?" Well, that's the question everybody really wants to know. Nick says, "I felt it pop and feeling like a blind being rolled up in my arm. It's a 65-inch Samsung, so 47 pounds with an arm already extended out. I wouldn't have guessed it would do it, but bam, yeah, yeah. That's not good." Michael says, "Is it like the rotator cuff?" No, he's talking about tearing the bicep off. I guess I don't know. I guess off the top, maybe the top. He says rolled up his arm. Yeah, so it tore off down here at the bottom and went up. Ugh. Yeah, not cool. Lynn, I had torn my bicep. Get sweatpants and slip-on shoes for the next 3 months. Yeah, and hopefully it's not your dominant hand. Hopefully not. Brian, you're not supposed to hang old tube type TVs on the wall, Nick. LOL. Hope you recover well. Yes. Yeah, I had to get Rod. I had a tube type TV, a 31 inch, upstairs. I'm pretty sure Roger helped me. I think Roger helped me carry that back down out of my upper attic space, and I got rid of that thing. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Roger helped me at least carry it either one way or the other. But that was a beast of a TV. Nick, it was a tendon at the crease of the elbow popped it loose from the bone. Yeah. So you're gonna have to rebuild you and make you better, right? You're gonna be like the bionic Nick. Jerry, I have two friends who play ice hockey, and he body checked a skater and tore his bicep, and didn't know it until he was changing clothes after the game. Wow, that's not surprising, I guess. Sometimes when they're playing sports, they injure themselves and don't even know it. Yeah, I think in some sense we may have all done something similar. I know I've cut myself open before, to where I'm bleeding really good, and I'm looking on the floor going, "What is that? When did I spill tranny fluid?" And I look at oh, there's a big gash on me. I'm losing blood. The shop busted my leg in 3 places. Had my motocross boot facing backwards. Riding my dirt bike landed me 2 months in the hospital. Nearly had a stroke to swelling. Long story short, needed 3 plates, I guess, somewhere. Ouch. Yeah, that's got the ET thing going on there. Ouch. Where he points his finger. Ouch. Yeah, no. No. We don't need anybody to compete with Nick or the shop. No, don't compete with them. Rusty's Restoration says, 67 convertible. Okay, cool. Yeah, that car is beautiful. Yeah, let me show that again. It is that is beautiful. I would love to see that in person. I get the feeling that might be one of those trailer cars. That's what it looks like. Doyle, that Studebaker would be nice restored, and it's rare enough that it would be interesting to get her at the car show. It would. The unfortunate thing is, I actually have found one of those same car, except it was a real 4-speed with a factory supercharger on it, and that car sold for $12,000, and it was near mint. It sold for $12,000. We're talking about a factory 4-speed, factory supercharged car. Black. It was like black on black, I believe. No, it was red. I'm pretty sure the interior is red. Just gorgeous car. And it sold for like $12,000. Because nobody knows about them. There's no, tiered interest in those cars. So, hard to justify any kind of cost putting into it. Evan, that Shelby is a beaut, yes. Oh, before I get too far, I want to shout out to Scott. Scott has sent me this. I think he's still in the Army. Never underestimate an old man who has served in the United States Army. So this just showed up today, so I had to wear it tonight. So thanks to Scott. I don't know if you'll see this later or not, but thanks to Scott for sending me a new shirt. Okay. My family is texting back and forth like crazy right now. Nick, yeah, I saved the TV. I'm going to get real familiar with it, and when I'm better, probably blow it up with some C4. Robert, that's one of my favorite Mustangs. and I even like the color. Yes, I agree. That is just sharp. That is just sharp. Colin, super late, but happy I can make it. Fighting upper controller bushings today. Hope all is well. Everyone sent a photo of a cool 32 my friend is working on. Um, oh yeah, yeah. Let me download that. Ooh, and Simone has sent me a picture. She's got some issues going on with that car. That's going to need some work. Let me get a couple of these pulled off. So I always end up forgetting that I need to remove images so I can add images. It's kind of how it goes, though. I don't really get time to think about this until it's showtime. So here we go. Colin sent me that picture. I like that. I like it a lot. Yeah. And Simone sent me pictures of the rust. So that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Sorry to see that, Simone. I know it's going to take a lot of work to fix all that. Lots of work. Let me see here. Rick, just go back to the idea you had before. Just restore half the car and leave the other half as it is, meaning one side of the car. Yeah, that was the idea I had on the 55 Chevy. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that either. Nick, I'm going to have a titanium button and a plastic screw. Oh, great. I think I'd rather have a titanium screw personally. I don't know that a plastic screw is going to hold that stuff together very well, but hey, I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. Not a body engineer. Evan, when I was young, I carried a 33-inch tube up 3 flights. Probably could have really hurt myself. Now I throw out my knee thinking too hard. Yeah, yeah. Those TVs were ridiculously heavy. Yes, Simona set up. I said a photo of the inside of the rear valance of the Cortina. You could just see the bumper through the hole in the rust. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Man. I'd fix 3M. There's so much blood and pain restoring our cars. That is an accurate statement. Roger, I think we discussed letting it go and letting gravity win. Yeah. It would have taken out the wall. Somebody, I cut myself on freshly cut steel, so sharp and lots of blood. Yeah, I think I've recovered. I still have I did this one just the other day. It was like walking past something on the Mustang. It's like, oh, huh, yay. Ray, I heard bald men still have their combs. They can't part with it. Thank you for that, Ray. Terry, in 2001, I almost severed my thumb on my left hand, and I'm totally left-handed. Yeah, that's no, don't do that. That's not fun. Michael, the Mustang is nice, but me personally, I like the 51 F100. Um, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'd probably still go with the Mustang personally. There's a 65 or something in the background too. And then the people that bring their new Corvettes. I brought a new Corvette. Look, yay! It's so funny. We have a local cruise in, and I don't know when people do it. There'll be a group that brings like Mustang twos, and I'm okay looking at the Mustang twos. They're cool. I mean, for what they are, they're cool. Um, and then there's a group like the Corvette Club, and they'll bring all their brand new Corvettes and just park them right next to each other and open the hood and blah blah blah. And it's just like I don't even look at them. I just walk on. I walk on by. I don't care. I don't care that you bought a brand new car and brought it to a car show. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Don't even bring it. Drive something else. Ray Buckman, Barry, and all have a great week. Looking forward to the next video. Thanks, Ray. Lynn, the guy drove away after the show in that 67 Shelby. Well, I get that. I get that. I also had a guy at a recent event that I went to. He had a Superbird clone. It wasn't a real Superbird. It was a clone. And he lived like 60 or 70 miles south of us and where the show was. And so as we were talking, he said, yeah, well, I drove it to the show. I drove this. I drove it to... He was adamant that he drove it to the show. And sure enough, he started it up when he left, started it up and drove it out of the show. I was like, oh, cool. He really did drive this thing. And I left a little bit later, and I happened to have a friend who lives en route back to where I live, and that friend is where that Superbird was, the clone Superbird, and he'd loaded it onto his trailer. So, technically, he drove it to the show, which was 2 miles from his friend's house to the car show. So he technically drove it, even though he knew that we lived like 60 miles away. He technically drove it. So I don't know that I would take that car on the road personally. If it looked like that, I wouldn't want to get anywhere near a highway, an intersection. There's too many people out there that are just dangerous. The shop, I sent some pictures of the X-Brace and where my shin bone came through the skin. 32 years old. I'm into motocross more than ever. I just built some tabletops at my shop to screw around on. Yeah, I don't know that I want to see any shin bone through the skin. Nope. Simone says, Colin, that's cool. I fixed 3M. I paid $8K for my 66 Coronet 4-door, unrestored, 12,000 miles. I was first on the brakes after factory. Like new interior, original paint. How could I not grab it? Nobody wants a 4-door. That is pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. A lot of people just will look right past a 4-door. Unless you're in Australia. They love their 4-doors. And I don't blame them. Richard says, roar. Glad you're here, Richard. He says, evening all. Simone, on the plus side, I have the panels to replace the rust in that photo. Well, then that is a positive. Good for you. Richard, I would be interested in glancing at a new Camaro, but never a Vet. Yeah, I like the new Camaros. I really do. I don't care that I don't want to see them at the car show. I like to see them being driven. I really do like... I saw a Z01 the other day. It was a deep, dark blue with the black hood and all that. Camaro. Ooh. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Lynn, that yellow 67 Mustang in the back is my ride. Oh, well, very good. Let me just show that one more time then. So, yeah, very nice. Richard, I used to take my 71 Chevelle to shows, drove it to each one, had 68,000 on it when I parted with it. That should have got you some nice coin. Charles, maybe you think Crunchy will be a mostly brand new car. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And rock solid. Unlike that car right now, which is being held together with 1-inch square tubing. Nick says, I just looked up what a Cortina is. And he says, that is a neat looking little car. I think I may or may not still have those pictures. She had sent several pictures of the Cortina in the past. And I probably deleted those. Yeah, those are gone. Okay, my family's going crazy with texting. Today was our grandson's first day at preschool. So I got to meet his teacher. So I know they're all excited about that. The shop, hate to be this guy, but if anyone is into square body Chevy trucks, I'm starting a major rush job on a 1980 GMC square body on my channel. There's lots of people into those right now. They are. Those things are really becoming popular. So that's all right. I don't mind you saying that. Richard, the car behind you should be tagged very flexible. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty flexible at this point. Nick says, I love the square body Chevys. Yeah, I like them. I think I like the 79 and back, personally. 79 to 73. I think I like that era of the square bodies more than the later ones, just because of the front end, the headlights, the round headlights. Somewhere around 80, 81, they started playing around with multiple headlights and different things like that. I had a 79 short bed for a period of time, and it was a cool truck. It was, but I like the earlier ones. Richard says, hip to be square. The more Simone has sent me some more pictures of the Cortina. Let me eliminate this picture and pull up that picture. And when I see this car, and again, I'm a little biased on shapes, but I see kind of a hybrid between a Falcon and a Pinto, is what my mind sees. But that's what the Cortina is, Cortina wagon. But that's what I kind of see, is between a Falcon and a Pinto kind of merged together. Interesting car. So yeah. So 2 foot, yeah, okay. Roger the shop. My son has an 87 square body. I have a 68 C10. Yep. Shop 88 to 98 CK are what I really like. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I just know that I like the front end on the older ones. Just has a more classic look with the round headlights. Richard, I had a 78 short bed 4x in 90-ish. Great truck. Yeah, those were good trucks. In fact, I think I still have a picture on here. I think. Maybe I do. Of my 72 Chevy. Maybe I don't. I might have deleted that thing. But I had a 72 Chevy 4x4. And I had shattered the differential front and rear on that thing. Because they were inherently weak, and I had like 33-inch tires on it. Oh yeah, there it is. So I had 33-inch by 1250, tires on it, and I blew out the front and rear axle, and so we had a 78 Blazer, and then for whatever reason, those things had really heavy axles, housings, and everything, and my brother, he put in the rear axle. Because I was in the military at the time, and I had to go back on leave, and so he fixed it. He fixed the rear axle for me. But yeah, we put 78 Blazer axles, housings and all, front and rear, under that truck. So I'm still looking for that truck. Still looking for it. Like an idiot, I sold it. Never should have sold that truck. Nick, it's a wagon. That's actually so cool. Great car. Yeah. Yep. I'll come back down and push that up one more time so everybody can see it again. Like I said, it's got to me the Pinto / Falcon kind of vibe to it. Denny Alvey, I have taken the car to a national show with 300 cars and win best of show in the next week. Come in second in a local car show of 40 and lose to a new Camaro. Crazy. Yeah, that's terrible. New cars shouldn't even be. They should have a cutoff. Like, you're welcome to come to the car show, but if it was made after X, then you're not part of the show. You can show your car, but you're not going to be part of the contest, let's say. It has to be at least 5 or 10 years old from the date of today. Something along those lines. At least show some wear and tear on it rather than showing it, fresh off the dealership with the stickers and all still on it. No thanks. Simone says, thanks, Nick. And heading to bed now. Good night, all. Good night, Simone. Glad you were here. Nick, I got to help get a 79 Little Red Express running for my aunt for her stepson's graduation. I was super jealous that kid got the car. It was so cool. Yeah. And I know he meant truck. He's got a bad arm, so we're going to go let it go. Richard says, very nice rig. Nick says, her, not you. He says, truck, not car, typing with one hand and half a brain. Crash ladder, yep. There is a major similarity, Falcon front and Pinto wagon rear. Evans Garage, ciao, folks. Dinner time. Yep. Yeah, it's about time for me to quit too. My voice is starting to get rough, and I know when it starts getting rough, it's time for me to go because I just get uncomfortable. So, this has been a good session. We had a lot of people involved. We still have 54 on here. As I mentioned before, if you're watching the videos and everything on YouTube, thumbs up, comments, all that stuff helps with the apparent algorithm thing. I am going to do more research into what I can do to maybe change the whole approach on whether I continue using YouTube at all. It is so frustrating, and I know they don't care. That's the worst part. They don't care at all. But that'll be it for tonight. And I'll be back. I don't know that I'll be back next Monday. I may not be here. I may not. If I do a live stream, it'll be in Pennsylvania. And it'll either be, I don't know. We'll see if I can pull it off. If I can do it, I'll do a live stream next Monday from Pennsylvania. That'll be at a satellite location, right? I'll see if I can pull it off. If I can't, well, we'll just have to get back together in 2 weeks. But as it is, that's it for this particular session. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.